Hey, just want to make this a real quick video to show you my grow stand. The reason I built the grow stand is because before if I put my plants or tried to start plants out in the garage, then they would always die. It would never stay warm enough. So then I tried moving them down to the basement. When it's in the basement, they're out of sight, out of mind. And I think the first year I really I forgot to keep watering them regularly, and pretty much everything died. Second year, I have a nice big grow light down there, but everything was leggy because I could not get the light close enough to the plants. So I thought I need to have something where I can adjust the levels of the light. I can, get the plants closer. One year I actually even tried on my dining room table. I set up all this stuff on my dining room table and it did okay, but it didn't have a grow light, so they were still really weak. And every time we had company, I was moving like 100 plants at least into the spare room or something just to get them out of the way. And that was just a hassle. And I don't have a whole lot of time to go, I have more time now, but at the time I would forget about the plants that were down in the basement because we were just rushing trying to do too much stuff. So I thought, how can I solve this problem? What can I do? So I came up with a plan in my mind and I started acquiring pieces parts. I picked up a shelf. It's 5 levels, counting the top of the shelf, and it's on wheels and it's wire, but it's sturdy enough to hold my plants. I picked that up. I think I got that for about $40 on clearance. I don't know what you would get it for now. And I thought, well, I'm going to need lights to go on the bottom side of some of these shelves. So I found these grow lights on Amazon. I don't know if you can see them or not. They come in sets of 2, okay? At the time, they were a lot cheaper. I think I got them for maybe $13 a piece. Now, they're $20 a piece, but I looked at them right before I made this video, and they're on sale with a 20% off coupon. So you're looking at $16 right now. So that's a decent deal, okay? So I got 4 sets of those because they wire to the underside. So I had to have something for the top side. So for the top side, I bought these clip-on LED grow lights that are adjustable, okay? So I can move them around as plants get bigger or whatnot. I got 2 of those. Okay, that's great. How are you getting all this stuff lit up? How are you getting it taken care of? Well, what I did was I came over here. A couple things I'll show you here in a second. Let me move that. On the very end of my shelf, I got a power strip. This power strip has regular outlets, and it also has USB plugs, because some of the lights that I got have USB plugs, okay? So because it's a power strip, I could just flip it off and on if I wanted to, but these are all on timers. Every single one of these has a timer, so they're set for, I'll probably end up setting them at first for 12 hours to get the plants going. But we'll talk about that later. So anyway, they're on a power strip, so if I have a power surge, it's going to automatically click off and I'm not going to have to worry. The other thing that's plugged into this power strip up here is a heat mat. To get the peppers to germinate, gotta have a heat mat, okay? So all of it's plugged in centrally right here in this one location. Now, what size shelf did I need to get? Well, I knew I had a bunch of these. And I'm sure you've seen these in any garden store, Home Depot, anything like that as well. Rural King, I think I got some of mine at Rural King. I wanted to get a shelf that was big enough for these to sit on, because these make a really good way to start a bunch of different plants. And I usually have the peppers on top, which I don't put the peppers in these. I put the peppers in a separate cup because they have to be heated and I don't want to move them once I get them going, okay? But one of the things that's nice about this, I tried to set everything up for convenience. And this is not my idea. Thought it was a fantastic idea, but credit needs to be given where credit is due. Pinball preparedness. Do you see on this right here in the far corner where my finger's pointing? Okay? I cut that last one out because at first when you start the seeds, you're just going to spray them with a water bottle till they start growing and they get roots. Once they've got roots, all the corners, all the way down through, okay, all the way down through, the corners are going to be cut out. So I can just water, go to the next one, water, go to the next one, water, go to the next one, water, okay? This makes it so I can start a boatload of plants in a relatively small area. The other nice thing about this, because it's on wheels, when Easter rolls around and I've got plants everywhere, unplug it from the wall, roll it down the hallway into my spare room, and plug it back in. And the plants will be fine if I leave them there a day or two. In fact, if it gets to the point where we have a kitten, there she is. She's very intrigued by this whole thing. If it gets to the point where she's destroying it, then I may end up having to do that anyway. Just leave it in the spare room. I go in there every day because that's where we keep our dog crates. And that's where I have my desk and all my business stuff. So anyway, so that's not an issue either. And I also, that's part of the reason I have a shower curtain that I like to pull across here. I just paper clip it on. I've got a paper clip here, or a clothesline clip there. I'll clip it all the way around, and that was specifically put on to try to keep cats from getting inside of it. The other thing that I will do once I have a lot of plants on here is where my curtains hang up there. I take one of these, I have an emergency blanket. I use the same one every year. I take this, let me show you. I unroll it and I clip it up there so it hangs with my curtains on the inside of my curtains, and I just pull it over the backside of my my plant stand so that this whole shelf is completely wrapped in this emergency blanket. It just reflects the light back onto it, keeps everything a little bit warmer, because you know, warmth can be important for some of the stuff. Actually, all of it. Peppers more than anything. But anyway, so that's just the basic idea. And once I get the plants big enough to the point where they need to start, like, they need to be transplanted, then I'll transplant them into other containers, which I've saved from last year. I've got those. I have the ever important red Solo cup, and all of those have holes in the bottom for drainage. So obviously these shelves are wire shelves. So I have old cookie sheets that I put down on these shelves, and then I put the cups on top of those. So the size shelf that you're going to need is going to depend on if you're going to use these trays, what size they are, and if you're going to use cookie sheets or whatever, just to kind of, the big thing is you want to make sure that you're not dropping water on the lights down below. So you need to at least have something to cover those up. But for the most part, that's it. You just get it, you play with it, you adjust it however it needs to be adjusted. For me, this has been a fantastic time-saving convenience. Plus, it gives me something to work with, something to do towards the spring and towards gardening, even in the worst months where it looks like that outside and I just don't feel like going out. So anyway, but just an idea, just something to think about and to move towards for your gardening, hopefully your gardening assistance. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them down below, and we'll talk to you later. But most everything I got, I think the shelf I got on clearance from like either Menards or Home Depot, something like that. And like I said, just figure out what dimensions you want and roll with it. You could probably even do a smaller shelf, do a couple of them even. Whatever's going to work for you. So anyway, you take care, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.